Today's program will be presented by one of our own members, Bill Pike, and the illustrator for his children's book, The Last Pumpkin, Nell Chesley. First, I'll tell you a little about Nell. An artist and educator, Nell Chesley is a native North Carolinian and graduate of Meredith College who has called Richmond home basically since 1967. She was a third-grade teacher in Raleigh and is a professional artist since graduating from VCU's School of the Arts in 1989. Her oil paintings are in the permanent collection of the Federal Reserve Bank, corporations, and private collections on the East Coast. And her work has hung in the Chrysler Museum of Art. A former docent at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts for 10 years, giving tours to children's school groups and illustrating a docent's bag, Nell is currently president of the Bon Airs Artists Association and a member of the Oil Painters of America and the Virginia Plein Air Painters. Nell is happily married with 3 married children and 5 budding artist grandchildren. Children's literature has always been one of her passions, so we're pleased to have Nell with us today. Our presenter, Bill Pike. Bill spent 31 years in the Commonwealth of Virginia as a teacher, administrative aide, assistant principal, and principal. He taught 4 years in Martinsville City Schools at Martinsville Junior High School and 27 years in Henrico County at Hermitage, Moody Middle, and Lakeside Elementary School. After retirement, Bill worked on school evaluation teams for the Virginia Office of School Improvement, served as a teacher coach in the Department of Corrections Schools, a university supervisor of student teachers for James Madison University, and a part-time English teacher at Benedictine High School. Currently, Bill serves as the Director of Facilities and Administration at the Trinity United Methodist Church. It's our pleasure to welcome Bill Pike and Nell Chesley.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and I appreciate the invitation. A lot of you have asked, where's my wife, Betsy? And I'll be honest with you and tell you, I threw her under the bus. We have 3 children. Our oldest, Lauren, lives and works in Chicago. She's not married, but my wife waits for the phone call anxiously every day. Not more so than my mother-in-law does, I can tell you that. Our son Andrew and his wife Catherine are in Washington, D.C., where they live and work. And our youngest daughter, Elizabeth, is in Greenville, North Carolina, and she's the one that still gives me the most heartburn out of all the 3. My wife kept promising me, when I get Elizabeth out of elementary school, I'll go back to work full-time. She's a teacher also. I said, fine. When I get Elizabeth out of middle school, I'll go back to work full-time. When I get Elizabeth out of high school, I'll go work full-time. So she's out of high school. I said, you got to go back to work full-time. So, you know, now when I come in the house in the afternoons, I crawl into the house and I look for little red sniper dots. My wife is the most incredible person in the world, and I was lucky that her father let me marry her. So, thank you very much for the very, very kind introduction, and thanks also for the comments about the Henrico County Christmas Mother. It's a terrific program, as you well know, and one thing that Nell and I learned over the last month or so, we had a presentation at our church where, was it maybe Virginia Commonwealth? I can't remember where the professor was from, but analyzing the latest census data for the greater Richmond area. And you probably already know this, but Henrico County has the greatest need, or the biggest, fastest growing group of people at the poverty line. That may sound hard to believe, but it's true. That's what the data bears out. So we have a lot of challenges to work through. So it's great seeing a lot of friends here today. From Doug Hunt to Bruce Bowen to everybody I worked with at Lakeside, Rose Tanner, Secretary at Lakeside, Peggy Toon, Secretary at Hermitage, that I had the pleasure of working with. They both kept me straight. That old adage is true. Secretaries run the school, not assistant principals and principals. That is true.
That is true.
So I thought I'd start with a little humor, okay? Really bad humor. A visitor to a certain college paused to admire the new Hemingway Hall that had been built on campus. "It's a pleasure to see a building named for Ernest Hemingway," he said. "Actually," said his guide, "it's named for Joshua Hemingway, no relation." The visitor was astonished. "Was Joshua Hemingway a writer also?" "Yes, indeed," said his guide. "He wrote a check." Anybody in staff development will tell you that this is the most dangerous crowd because your stomachs are full. And I expect that a number of you, like Bubba Crone and Jim Stanks, and you'll be snoring profusely. Gordon Sanders, note that I didn't name you. Okay, you look like you're in still pretty good shape to me. Well, you know, this journey with the last pumpkin's been quite an experience, and it's been a real learning experience. And I'd like to take a few minutes and tell you a little bit about it. I don't think you want to listen to me for 30 minutes. That's what they ask. I'm full of hot air, but I don't think I can do 30 minutes. But, you know, one of the things that, before I go any further, I want to introduce to you Wayne Dementi. Wayne Dementi's here with us. He's our publisher. He's a Henrico guy, a really neat person. He has ties to Lakeside Elementary School, Hermitage High School, great heritage in the Richmond community. And I wouldn't be standing here talking with you, and Nell wouldn't be here ready to talk with you if it wasn't for Wayne. So Wayne, thanks for all that you have done for us, and thanks for being here in support of us today. But one of the things they talk to you about, and I belong to a writers association, the Richmond Christians Writers Group, one of the things they talk about is putting together an elevator speech. And an elevator speech is just a short summary of what your project's about, what your book's about. So here's my elevator speech for The Last Pumpkin. The Last Pumpkin is a story about the village blacksmith who has a fear of pumpkins. So he creates a pumpkin smashing hammer. And the week before Halloween, he goes through his neighborhood after midnight smashing pumpkins until confronted by the kids in the neighborhood. See, that's what I'm tempted to say. Because when you go to book signings and book festivals and things, people want to know. You have to look people in the eye and you have to say to them what your book's about. And at the end of the day, Neil will tell you, at the end of the day, you've said that several hundred times. At least you hope you said it several hundred times. And so I'm tempted to use that. I would never use that. Some people will ask about the book. They for sure we tell them. It's a story of an unusual shaped pumpkin. A little girl, a farmer, and a teacher. And they all have a happy Halloween ending. And that's the basics of the book. And I want to tell you a little more about it right now. That was my fake elevator speech. I just told you the real one. But the story of The Last Pumpkin is truly a story of procrastination. I was telling Peggy Toon earlier today when I first saw her that she doesn't remember this, but a long, long time ago at Hermitage High School, I started working on this book. In fact, before the advent of computers, one day I handed Peggy a draft of it, and she could read my handwriting. Many people in the world have been blinded by my handwriting. Somehow she figured out how to translate it.